My name's Mel and I'm Deputy Team Leader at Buxton Mountain Rescue Team. I'm going to talk to you about radios today. So we quite often get asked about how we communicate on the hill. At the moment we're using the Hytera radio. It's a nice little compact, lightweight radio, transmits on the VHF. We can only really transmit sort of line of sight. If you had one person, say on the edge of Kinder Scout and one person at the bottom, so you could still sort of see each other two radios, then you can communicate very well then. The only sort of minor issue is if you had someone stood at either side of Kinder Scout, so there's sort of the hills in between the two radio sets, and then they wouldn't be able to communicate with each other. Obviously it can't go miles and miles, but it's useful for our call-outs when we may be 3 or 4 kilometres from the RV point. It's useful in the fact that not only do we use it for group communications, we can also use it for individual calls. So each radio has its own identification number, and we have a sort of essentially a directory within each radio. We can call people point to point, we call it, so one person can have a conversation with another one without anyone else overhearing. It's also got 2 other features which are very useful. This can be used as a repeater. So where I said if you have 2 radios, say you have somebody right in the middle of Kinder Scout and somebody else right at the bottom, and you're not able to communicate directly, you can send somebody up the hill and switch this into repeater mode. So that means it essentially sort of relays the signal down and means that we can transmit and we can work over a lot larger area than normal. The other useful feature it has is that it's got GPS within it. So we can link up to these and we can track where people are. So that's extremely useful if you've lost comms with somebody. It's very windy and they've not heard the radio going off. You can tell where they are and you can track them. And it's also a useful safety feature as well. So one of the advantages of this radio is that it's a digital radio. We used to have analogue radios up until late last year, beginning of this year, when we've adopted the Hytera. And the digital frequencies, or the digital radio, gives us a lot more options. The signal is a lot clearer and we can use repeater stations as well. They're 2-way radios, but only one person can speak at a time. So you have to call the station that you want to speak to, give your message, and then you would wait until the other person speaks. So you can't both speak to each other at the same time like you would on a mobile phone, but it does allow you to be able to communicate when you're far away from each other. And that's about it really. As I say, it's a nice little compact radio. There we go.